Do you sometimes want to commit to something but actually never get started? That's me. Last week, I committed to start the 75 Hard Challenge on Saturday, 10th of February, but nothing. I am so ashamed. This has happened to me so many times, and I thought that making this commitment online would make such a difference. And to be honest, when I committed, I felt really genuine about it, about the fact that I was going to make it happen. But basically, 3 reasons why it didn't happen. One of them is the most common one. I have way too much going on with work. I never realized how much time it takes, especially because I'm learning a new skill, the editing skill. I have another video and I'm interviewing amazing professionals who are helping women in different ways. The link will be down below. It's called The Séverine Menem Show. It's meant to be a podcast, but at the moment is a YouTube channel, and it's amazing. I love these conversations, but it takes me forever to get in touch with the people, prepare the interview, edit. I've done 4 episodes so far. They are released on a Friday and love it. Second reason, I wasn't ready. I know the challenge is pretty tough because there are 5 components. Food-wise, very clear on what to eat, and I've got everything in the fridge or freezer. Water, no problem at all. Reading a book, no problem. What else? The 2 workouts. It's actually a lot more complicated than it sounds because, yeah, you've got to work out, but what do? I could go the easy option, go out for a walk every day for like an hour and a half. But the plan for me is not just to increase my steps. I feel I'm good with my steps. And between 10 and 15K per day, what I want is to increase my fitness level. So I decided to go back into running. I just love running. I need my Coach to 5K app, which is downloaded. I need my Strava app, which is downloaded. I need to listen to music. I do usually podcasts. Strava and Spotify, they go together, which is great. But then I realized, oh my God, I don't have the outfits. I have outfits to go to the gym, but running, you need like a proper bra. I didn't have that. The weight of my breath up and down on the pavement, that would be hurtful. So I'm doing 45 minutes of that, even though I would do intervals. Yeah, definitely not. So that's something I still need to address. Second workout, which would be going to the gym. I am a member of a gym, so this is not an issue. I know the times. I know exactly what they have in terms of weight, in terms of machine and all that. That's great, but I don't have a program. And I was going to use the same program last year before I got my shoulder injury, but I realized it's probably not appropriate and I need to adapt, especially because my strengths are just like shrunk. I am not able to do anything. You probably realize I'm in a different environment because we moved furniture around so that I have a nice background rather than have my glass window behind. But just pushing sofas, I was just exhausted. And to be honest, I didn't expect that. Because now I can move my shoulder, as you can see, pretty good, but it's still a bit painful compared to this one. I think I need to be really careful with this shoulder. Again, I need to work out the plan. And the third part is like you need to take a picture of your progress on a daily basis. And like, yeah, that sounds easy. But when I thought about it, what kind of progress are you doing? The face, obviously, the face will change a lot. Well, I hope so, because I want to get rid of the double chin, the cheekiness here, increase the quality of my skin, or the bust, so that all of a sudden you can see my neck and my shoulders, or just the whole thing. And because you have to do it every day, do I just take a picture or find an app? I was just disorganized. And the last point is health. To start such a program, you have to have a bit of a baseline of good health. I could feel I was not great. I was feeling a bit feverish, a bit cold most of the time. My voice was very nasal, which means that I had some blockage inside. I was just not feeling great. And from the moment I filmed the video, I think it was Wednesday, to the moment I was supposed to start the challenge, which was Saturday, things worsened. I'm not proud at all. I realize, how stupid it sounds. Oh yeah, I'm going to document my weight loss journey, but hang on a minute. I haven't really started showing anything, but that's okay. I want to be really, really honest with this journey, but it is a small setback because I do want to do it, and I will do it. This is one of my big thing of 2024. I will do a 75 hard between my birthday, which is September. I've got some stuff I want to do before I turn 40. which was 10 years ago, I really wanted to run a marathon. And that was a very funny story because I had never really run consistently for a long period of time. And so I started the training. Training in the winter basically is horrible because I was always getting sick. Instead of having 3 sessions a week, I was having like one long run at the weekend, and then it would make the whole week to recover because I was getting a bit unwell during the week, and then again and again. So basically, on the day of the marathon, which was actually the Paris Marathon, my hometown, and I was like, no, I'm not going to run because in my heart, I didn't train sufficiently and I was going to injure myself. And then that's not worth it. You know, the medal, the t-shirt, it's not worth it. But luckily, my husband said, look, you know, totally understand. And you're probably right. But what you can do is start the marathon and then you stop whenever you feel like you have to stop. And I did that. And it was amazing because actually I did run 20K. And then I walked the 10 last kilometers and it took me 6 hours, way too long. That was my first one. I was not prepared, but I didn't give up. I did not give up. And this experience, I think, has shaped a lot of things in my life for the last 10 years. I know that if it's hard, it's okay. It is hard and it's meant to be hard and you just do it. And that's okay because you will become a better person as a result. The second part I want to discuss is motivation, because you might say, well, actually, it's a lack of motivation that brought you to the lack of commitment. And to be honest, I think the motivation is there, definitely there. I know it's not the motivation that will get me going, but it's definitely the motivation that gets you started. I am motivated for many reasons. The first one is I'm not functional anymore. What does it mean? Well, in order to do things in everyday life, you have to be able to function properly, you know, whether it's to use your arms to grab something on top of a shelf or kneel to tie your shoes. That's something you take for granted when you're young. Son, I can see that, you know, I say, oh, can you do that? And he just does it. And he's flexible, he's bending, he's like, yeah, no problem. And I realized, especially after putting on so much weight, that there are stuff that I just cannot do. I have shoes with laces. It's a choice, obviously, but every day when I have to put on these shoes several times a day, because I don't like to wear shoes in my flats, I have to bend and it's horrible. It is just horrible. Only time I had this horrible feeling is when I was pregnant. Yeah, when you're pregnant, it's normal. You know, you've got something in front of you, you can't compress, that's it. Before last year, before I started this journey, you know, I had this big belly again, really hard and like blocking the way. And I thought, okay, fine. So if I just lose the belly, it will be easier. Well, guess what? It's not. That's the crazy stuff about things. I can now, you know, sit down properly, bend forward, but it's painful. It's painful everywhere, on my arms, on my back, on my hip flexors. It's just like everything is painful. And so if you wonder, no, I don't like the motivation. I have the motivation. And one more thing. I do want to wear my old clothes again. You know, I've got some pretty fancy dresses and I loved wearing dresses. I felt so sexy. Obviously, you can wear dresses, whatever you want. But let me go to the details of being fat. When you get fatter, you've got fatter thighs and they tend to rub against each other and that's really painful. So in winter, not much of a trouble because obviously you can wear tights. In summer, it's not as easy. I am motivated by feeling proud of my body again. This is very important. I might be turning 50. I still feel I've got plenty years to live. I've got like at least 42 years because my great-grandmother and her sister, they lived to 92, 94 years old. My grandmother way until her late 80s, or at least I will try to live as well for as long as I can. And also because I have a son. I'm a late bloomer in the sense that, you know, I got my son when I was 41. So I owe it to my son to be as healthy as long as possible so that he can have his mother as long as possible. That's why I want to do it. And I kind of mentioned there was one more physical challenge that I want to do. And that's something that came to my mind back then when I was running a lot. For information, at some point in my life, I was running 3 times a week, 10K. Then I had this idea of running a marathon before I turned 30. And I think now in my 50s, what I would love to do, and I will do my best to do, is to run half marathon, which is a bit over 21K. And if marathon is taking too much toll on the body, time, the commitment, I think half marathons are completely achievable. And my challenge is actually to run a half marathon in every single capital of Europe. I've done Paris already. I want to do it again once I'm trained properly and see the improvements. That's kind of my dream, because I could just book a 4-day weekend, run the marathon, but also visit the capital the rest of the time. And yeah, I'd love to do that. That's a plan in my 50s. Have you done such challenge, or do you have such challenge in mind? Something you've always wanted to do and postpone it to later. And then you realize, well, actually, if I just don't take the time or the energy to do it, I might just never do it. So now or never. Only thing that I have is just first, I'm overweight, which is not great on knees and ankles, but also lately in the last 10 years, running on and off, I realized every time I was past 5K, I had massive pains in my knees. I have no idea how I'm going to overcome these pains, but what I know, I want to do that. And if it's just doing a 10K, it would be a 10K. The plan is 21. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening so far. It's only my third vlog, and I'm really enjoying it. I feel like I want to do something. I want to progress. I want to share and inspire you to do the same. If I'm really honest, it's a bit scary and overwhelming to do all this recording. I am not comfortable in front of the camera, but you know what? It's worth it. I hope you enjoy this video so far. Perhaps you want to check, video number 1, video number 2. Perhaps you would like to subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, well, please, like. If you want to find out more, please subscribe. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and see you next week. Bye.